Crossing and devouring the starry sky, possessing the golden finger road fruit, growing together with Lord Luo, exploring the primitive universe, and competing with endless genius powerhouses for peaks. Keywords of the novel. The Way of Crossing the Starry Sky Fruit. No pop-ups. The Way of Crossing the Starry Sky Fruit TXT Complete Collection Download, the latest chapter reading of The Way of Crossing the Starry Sky Fruit. Chapter 1. First Awakening. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. First Awakening. Ian District 3rd High School, around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That big guy just praised you to his classmates. He said you speak well. What's wrong? Are you jealous? Luo Feng turned his head and smiled, saying. Jealous of you. Wei Wen rubbed his nose and chuckled, dream it. If I want to be jealous, it's also jealousy. Yes, Bai Qi is truly enviable. I think of that childhood friend like Wei Wen, who grew up in a welfare institution and became a true warrior 6 months ago. When my peers were still studying in school, they had already gone to the wilderness to hunt monsters. Although Luo Feng was also a genius in front of others, he was able to achieve a 1.1 victory over 3 senior martial arts school students and still couldn't get up from fighting them. But people are more popular than people, and goods are better than goods. Don't think about it. In a few days, when Bai Kai comes back from the wilderness area, they will tell us what the wilderness area really looks like, said Wei Wen next to him. Let's go home. Luo Feng, who had regained his senses, patted Wei Wen's shoulder. On the dilapidated ring road in the wilderness city of 0203, a group of 6 Falcon squads are walking back. Everyone, hurry up. We should be able to return to the supply base before dark. After coming out for so many days, I miss my precious daughter so much, said a middle-aged man walking in the middle. His name is Zhang Fang, an intermediate general who is quite skilled in his knife techniques. I think you're missing your sister. Law, right? Let go. The person next to you teased the man in front. Go ahead, Li Ming. What do you understand as a bachelor? Your sister. Law just gave birth to a chubby daughter for me. Think about what's wrong. Middle-aged man Zhang Fang replied, my little niece is already over 8 months old, isn't she? In a while, she will call me Dad. Fang Gu, I need to spend time with my sister. Law and niece when I go back this time. Bai Kai, who was walking at the end, held an alloy gun in his hand, guarding the surrounding situation, and said to Zhang Fang. He is the White Key spoken by Luo Feng and Wei Wen. White Key is a traveler, or rather a reincarnation. It was only half a year ago that I regained my previous memories, and based on my own understanding, I realized that I had come to a world that devoured the starry sky, and the original work seemed to have no one like me. White Key, who had just awakened, also looked bewildered. In my past life, I was just because my girlfriend broke up. I slept alone in a rented house, drunk, and half a year ago when I woke up, I became an orphan raised by a welfare institution. In this life, Bai Zai has just turned 18 years old and has grown to 186 in height in the past 6 months. His appearance is similar to that of a previous life, and he can only be described as a middle-aged person. Because it is in its developmental stage, it looks a bit thin and weak. But if you look closely, the muscles under the clothes are not inferior to those of these men who often come and go in the wilderness. Half a year ago, I just woke up from my past life memories. Due to the fusion of souls from 2 lifetimes, I awakened my spiritual and mental abilities at that time, which led to the improvement of my physical fitness, reaching the level of a quasi-warrior. Of course, White Key's spiritual and mental talent is not as good as the protagonist Luo Feng's. As long as his physical fitness improves, he can grow to the peak of the god of war. It only allows him to reach the level of a mid-pole warrior approaching advanced, and the solidified spiritual power in his mind is refined. The only way to improve in the later stage is to continuously absorb and transform the cosmic energy. After adapting for a few days, Bai Qi decisively dropped out of school. As a mystical world where great power belongs to himself, how can there be a way out without practicing martial arts well? Moreover, before awakening his past life memories, Bai Kai's natural talent in physical exercise was not inferior to that of Luo Feng. After becoming a senior student of the martial arts school with Luo Feng, coupled with the increase brought by soul fusion after awakening. That's for sure. This time, because of you, we solved the powerful magic bear of the senior beast general. When we disposed of these materials, we would have a defengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables, harvest. Zhang Fang's face was full of smiles as he spoke. Shao Qi, this time you're going back, it seems like you'll have to accept an assessment from the headquarters. If you pass, you'll have to go to the Hongning base city of the headquarters and join the elite training camp. In the future, you'll have to cover up with the old guys, said Li Shao, a tall and thin middle-aged man in front of Bai Yao. I don't know if it's possible to pass yet. Brother Li, don't joke, Bai Yu replied with a light smile. Speaking so, but in my heart, I have 100% confidence in this assessment. In half a year, without taking any genetic potions from natural resources and treasures, my physical fitness reached the peak of a junior general, and my spiritual and mental abilities reached the peak of an intermediate general. I practiced the top-notch marksmanship secret book, Annihilation, created by the world's strongest Hong and reached the 4th level, with perfect body techniques. This cannot be passed yet, so no one can pass either. You should know that as the only ultimate secret on earth, the end of the world does not have much to cultivate into the 4th level. Compared to the 9 thunder knife developed by the protagonist Luo Feng, Annihilation also has a method of generating dark energy. However, Hong, who comes from a background in assassins, has the philosophy of integrating his own strength and unleashing a fatal blow. If all of it is completed, the increase in strength will be slightly lower than that of the 9 thunder knife, but with a little more use of the overall situation of heaven and earth. A single shot not only carries its own strength, but also borrows various forces from heaven and earth, doubling its power. White Qi is in an elite general team, except for Wang Bing, who ranks 3rd to last and is a sniper whose physical fitness has not reached the level of a general. All other physical fitness has reached the lowest level of a junior general. Captain Leng Jun, nicknamed Falcon at the forefront, is also a well-known senior general. With a two-handed sword, he can reach the pinnacle and is expected to become a god of war in the future. In just half a year, Bai Qi has grown from a newcomer to the second in command of this elite team. The hardships he has put in are not enough for outsiders, but of course, there are also a few cheats. Little Qi, opportunities are rare, you have to keep them in mind. I have heard of that elite training camp for a long time. As far as I know, anyone who graduates from it will become the god of war. The main reason is that it has various resources and equipment, and it is said that many god of war are envious. They are not possessed by outsiders. If they perform well, there will be attention from the world's strongest Hong. Captain Leng Jun also spoke out. Have you completed the 3rd round of Shao Qi's annihilation? Maybe he will be accepted as a disciple by Hong, and then he will truly succeed. There will be no need to painstakingly kill monsters to earn money to buy secret scripts, and you can immediately choose from all the secret scripts in the world. Li Shao said in agreement beside him. He only knew that White Qi had exchanged the 3rd layer of annihilation at the extreme home, and did not know that he had already successfully cultivated it. As a sniper, Wang Bing withdrew his gaze from a distance and also spoke up. I have nothing to say about Shao Qi's talent, just 2 words of envy. This was his inner words. If it weren't for the fact that his martial arts talent was a bit lacking, he wouldn't have chosen to become a sniper. Over the past 6 months, White Qi has given them too many surprises. I will work hard, and I have been longing for the peak scenery for a long time. The peak here is not just the god of war or the planetary council level above the so-called god of war. The White Qi that comes through time knows the vastness of this universe, as the infinitely vast primordial universe nurtures endless races and treasures. Different legends are played out every moment, some strong ones fall, while others rise from the ashes and become famous in the universe. To revive one's life, one must naturally stand at the peak, meet the strong in the world, forge their own immortal legend, and be admired by billions of people. New book seeking support and recommendations, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. Daoguo. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Daoguo. At the entrance of the hall below the 88-story HR Alliance building in the main urban area of Jiangnan Bay City, two military off-road vehicles with HR printed on their bodies drove in. The White Key and his group of 6 rushed back to the base city before dark, rushing slowly in the car. With a loud bang, the doors of the 2 cars opened one after another, and the Falcon squad of 6, fully armed, came down. The electronic induction door emits a sound, and then the door automatically opens. Ladies and gentlemen, please come in. The doorman at the gate saluted respectfully. A group of 6 warriors from the Falcon squad walked straight into the building. The hall is extremely luxurious, and some randomly arranged decorations are extraordinary. The waiters who come and go are both handsome men and charming women. Everyone wears a smile that makes people feel like they are basking in spring breeze. Without making any further stops, a group of Falcon squad members walked directly to the elevator, and the service staff pressed the 21st floor elevator for them. Manager Fong is already waiting for you on the 21st floor, the waitress said with a smile. Bai Yu and others nodded. The elevator quickly went up without stopping in the middle. After a while, the elevator door opened with a ding sound and arrived on the 21st floor. Stepping out of the elevator, you can see a large lounge. There are many bar sofas next to the lounge, and some people are waiting to be seen on them. As warriors, they definitely don't need to wait. The group walked directly towards Manager Fong's office. Our manager is inside, everyone, please. A service lady connected the White Key and the group into the office. In the office, there are various luxurious decorations with crystal-clear pendants, and the ground is also paved with tempered glass. Under it, you can see streams, small fish, water plants, and so on. A bald, round-faced old man left his seat and said, "Cold June, it seems you have gained a lot this time. Come and sit here." The old man led a small group of people to the nearby sofa. "What goods are there this time? Take them out and take a look," the old man said with a smile. "Let me show you a good eye this time. Although you, the general manager, receive many warriors every day, you may not have seen many of the things we have gained this time," Zhang Fong said first. "Take out the materials, Shao Qi," said Ling Jun, the captain at this moment. White Key placed his backpack beside his feet, and then took out the fur, eyeballs, fangs, bones, and other parts of the great demon bear from the backpack, placing them one by one on the ground. A fierce aura emanated from these things, as if the great demon bear had come back to life. "Mighty demon bear. I'm obedient, how did you kill it?" With the defense and monster power of this demon bear, even the god of war would find it difficult to kill it, right? Manager Fong couldn't help but sigh. The fur is well preserved, and the bones are also very complete. Manager Fong's eyes lit up. "Wait for me." Manager Fong took out a password box from the cabinet behind his desk and ran over with it. "Cold June, please take out all the other materials." At the same time, Manager Fong opened the password box and took out a set of precision scanning instruments from inside. The instrument was activated, and a red light emitted from the top glass. The other 5 members of the team also took out some materials from their backpacks, all of which were at the level of other medium beast generals. Although they did not have the value of a powerful magic bear, they were still very precious. The red light scanned through the various materials one by one, and Manager Fong's smile became even stronger. After 2 minutes, when all the materials had been scanned, it was already complete. "Manager Fong, how much value do you think these materials are suitable for?" Bai Yu smiled at the other manager and said. "He knows it, because it's an elite team, so they usually hunt precious and valuable monsters, which they don't look up to in general. These materials are really good, let's do it. The materials for the Great Magic Bear are 6 billion huaxia coins, and the other 13 intermediate beasts will be 1.3 billion huaxia coins, a total of 1.9 billion huaxia coins. Taking a deep breath, Manager Fong quoted directly. Even him, such a big business is rare. Lao Fong, your price is too low, said Zhang Fong next to him. Because Captain Ling Jun has a very cold personality, it is usually Zhang Fong who speaks up when discussing business outside. After some tugging and tugging, the controversial price of the Great Magic Bear was finally sold at 800 million yuan, while the prices of other materials did not increase much. After all, the market was there. So the total harvest from this trip was 1 billion Chinese currency. On the third floor of the building, after completing the transaction, a team of 6 people arrived at a restaurant and opened a private room to order a table of dishes. Captain Ling Jun took out his laptop and, through a series of password authentication, logged into the team's public account. Except for the 800 million yuan from the Great Demon Bear, the rest were evenly distributed in this hunting of the Great Demon Bear. White Key was the main force throughout the entire process, and no one else helped, so there was no objection to White Key taking 60%, right? Cold June looked at everyone. Everyone glanced at each other without any objections. After spending more than half a year together, some things have already been agreed upon. Didi. The sound of successful transfer sounded, and the communication watch of Bai Kai and others continuously received notifications of balance changes. Bai Kai looked at his communication watch, and his balance increased by nearly 700 million. You have to treat me to this small key table today, Li Xiao said with a smile beside him. That's necessary. In the past 6 months, everyone has taken care of me. This time, I may have to leave the team and go to the headquarters training camp for training. In the future, everyone should be careful when going to the wilderness area. Bai Yao lifted a cup of tea and said sincerely to his teammates who had been with him for 6 months. You can't say that. In the team, although you joined the latest, the help you provided to everyone is obvious to all, said Wang Bing. The White Key becomes stronger and can go to a larger stage, and no one is unhappy. A strong person in a team can improve their survival, hunt stronger monsters, and earn more money. For example, in the face of a sudden attack by a powerful demon bear, without White Key, they might have been completely wiped out. After a heart-to-heart conversation, a group of talented people separated from the HR Alliance Mall and took the train back to their own homes. Yangzhou City, Mingyue Community, inside a villa. After washing up at home, Bai Kai fell asleep. After all, he had been in the wilderness for over half a month, and even as a warrior, fatigue was inevitable. As a traveler, White Key has golden thighs. That is an embryonic form of the Dao fruit, just born in the void, a White Key that has traveled through time. As soon as the memory of the past awakens, it discovers that it can communicate with the Dao fruit embryonic form located in the intangible, inaudible, and invisible void. As soon as consciousness came into contact with Daoguo, Bai Qi felt as if he had been struck by lightning, as if Huang Zhong and de LV were ringing in his ear, leaving his consciousness blank. Mysterious power descended upon his body through the connection of consciousness, transforming the body and soul of this life. When White Key realized it, he felt like his whole body was transparent. His body, which had just awakened and had a slightly dull memory, seemed to have become much more agile in an instant. The physical fitness that has been improved due to the awakening of spiritual and mental abilities has not been improved, but the level of mastery of the body has been greatly improved. Looking around again, I only feel that I am closely connected to nature, and every change in the surrounding environment is reflected in my heart. In this moment, many insights emerge in my heart. In the past, during cultivation, some opaque areas became instantly apparent to the mind. In the words of the mystical world, it seemed as if a mortal body had transformed into an innate Tao body. Conscious communication with the Tao fruit, a hint of information emerged in his mind, and White Qi realized that his consciousness had only infiltrated a thin layer on the surface of the Tao fruit, and the distance from fully mastering the Tao fruit was still far away. I want to control my consciousness to infiltrate deeper, but it feels like pushing an unshakable mountain without any response. It seems that in order to continue mastering the Tao fruit, one needs to work hard to improve their own consciousness or enhance their own strength. The former is because there is no place on earth to hone one's willpower, and can only be improved by accumulating various experiences, reciting and understanding the works of our ancestors. The latter is because when a living organism is promoted at each major level, its force level, consciousness intensity, and body gene optimization will be greatly improved. This was only discovered at the time, but in fact, its impact on oneself is not that simple. In the past 6 months of cultivation, Bai Qi found that his body seemed to have been digitized, and every point of improvement in his body and mastery of skills would be solidified. There won't be a situation where you don't exercise for a few days, your physical fitness declines, and what you learn today is forgotten tomorrow. There is a bit of the characteristic of de Luo Yizheng Yongzheng in novels. Because of this feature, White Qi was able to make such significant progress within 6 months. New book seeking support and recommendations, end of this chapter. Chapter 3. Reunion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Reunion. The next morning, White Qi woke up early. Today's cultivation began in the training room on the 2nd floor. In the afternoon, we had a dinner with Luo Feng and Wei Wen, which happened to be on the weekend. Otherwise, as high school seniors, they wouldn't have time. Genetic energy is the foundation of all extraordinary abilities in this world, and the most essential method of cultivation is to allow the body to absorb more genetic energy. To absorb more, better exercise methods are needed. The general method can only exercise a part of the body, and good exercise methods can even go deep into the cellular level, causing the cells to starve. Combined with advanced guidance techniques, the goal of absorbing more gene energy can be achieved. It is obvious that practicing the end of the world can achieve good exercise effects. The end of the world emphasizes the integration of all the strength of the body, regardless of any bright or dark energy. Practicing to a high or deep level can even trigger the overall trend of heaven and earth, so as to achieve the effect of destroying everything with one blow. White Qi walked to the middle of the cultivation room with his alloy spear and began practicing annihilation. For a moment, the shadows of the guns scattered in the 2nd floor cultivation room, each blow emitting a piercing scream. It was the sound of the ultimate power gathering at the tip of the gun vibrating in the air. If it weren't for the destructive power of the warriors being considered during the decoration of the cultivation room, they would have used some durable and resistant materials. Even the aftermath of the cultivation could have destroyed the room. Time flies by, and in the blink of an eye, over an hour has passed. The White Qi, covered in sweat, stopped and placed the alloy gun beside him. Sitting cross-legged in the middle of the cultivation room, holding a posture of 5 hearts facing the sky, began to absorb and transform the original energy of genes. Half an hour later, I saw the White Qi slowly retracting its position, and the body cells were already full, unable to absorb any more genetic energy. After finishing work, I realized that communication was still difficult to shake, and I didn't give up, because I knew it wasn't a one-time effort. I stood up and felt the strength of my body, and a smile appeared at the corner of my mouth. My physical fitness should be at the level of an intermediate warrior. After this period of cultivation, Bai Qi felt that his punching power should have exceeded 16,000 kilograms, plus the 4 times the power brought by the 4th level of annihilation. Just relying on these alone, he is confident in winning against senior generals. With a thought, 4 flying knives flew out of their bodies and traveled back and forth along different trajectories in the training room on the 2nd floor. With a whoosh, another flying knife also joined in, forming an unobstructed hole with the previous one. The entire trajectory of the movement looked graceful and agile, without any sense of discord. With a few muffled noises, 5 flying knives collided straight into the force measuring machine in the corner. Dee dee. The force gauge emitted several beeps, and several numbers on the screen kept refreshing, including 35,900 kilograms, 35,867 kilograms, 35,942 kilograms. To this day, mental and mental power remains the strongest means of attack for white keys. Because the innate mental power has completely disappeared, we can only rely on our own cultivation now, and the progress is relatively slow. We can only reach the level of a high-level warrior, and the attack power of each flying knife has reached its maximum limit. Although I haven't been exposed to methods for exercising mental abilities, I rely entirely on my own exploration. Finally, I can fully control the 5 flying knives, Bai said softly. This is equivalent to 5 times the strength of a warrior. Without the cultivation method of a spiritual mind master, one can only use the most foolish method to cultivate. While ensuring the attack power of each flying knife, one can increase the number of flying knives they can control. After completing his cultivation, White Key, who was sweating profusely, walked into the bathroom to wash up. Get up and start exercising. It's almost noon now, and my stomach has been protesting for a long time. As an orphan, he can only take a shower and make his own food. How can he endure such hardship? At 6 p.m., there is a small restaurant located on a street next to the South Bank community. As a beginner, Bai Qi didn't go to any luxurious places, just in the small restaurants that people used to go to. After ordering a table of dishes that everyone loved to eat, Bai Yao and Luo Feng Wei Wen started chatting, mainly telling his story of fighting monsters in the wilderness. Indeed, the descriptions in books have limitations, and some things can only be known by oneself when one goes to the wilderness area. After listening to Bai Qi's description, Luo Feng was amazed by the danger in the wilderness area. The many privileges of warriors actually come from their contributions to our humanity. If there were no warriors who sacrificed their lives and shed their blood in the wilderness, there would be no base for the peace of ordinary people inside. Wei Wen also said beside them. Yes, although it is undeniable that there are also some useless and scumbags in the martial arts community, they have made great contributions to humanity as a whole. In the wilderness area for the past 6 months, White Key and other members of the team have also been targeted by other human martial arts, knowing some dark things. But more often than not, warriors hunt and kill monsters, preventing the tide of beasts and indirectly giving more ordinary people hope to survive. How long do you need to rest this time when you come back? You rarely come back in the past 6 months, Luo Feng asked. Let's take a few days off first. In a few days, I will receive an assessment from the headquarters of Extreme Martial Arts School. If I pass, I will go to Hongning Base City for training. White Key said truthfully to the two of them. Hongning Base City. That was founded by the world's strongest Hong. It's amazing. Wei Wen was instantly excited beside him. After all, Hong's world #1 title is very well known. Sure, Lao Bai. You're about to soar to the sky, and we'll all need you to cover us up in the future, Luo Feng said with a smile beside him. Neither of them is jealous of the achievements they have made since childhood. No one knows better than the two of them about Bai Qi's efforts since he was young. As an orphan, he gradually went from a beginner, intermediate, and advanced student to becoming a genius among warriors. The effort he put in is unimaginable to others. Luo Feng, don't underestimate yourself. I remember you became a senior student of the martial arts school a few days earlier than me. You were very talented, but I think you could drop out like me and work hard to become a martial artist instead of wasting time in school. Wei Wen, you also need to work hard to become a senior student of the martial arts school as soon as possible. Bai Kai also timely advised the two of them. He knows the future, and there will be several major disasters on the earth in the future. The invasion of the Nolan Mountain family and the division of the earth by several major human companies resulted in the death of many earthlings. Although with the help of Luo Feng, Wei Wen lived to the end and became immortal in the original work, who can guarantee that nothing unexpected will happen. I am still an intermediate student now, and I don't even know how long it will take to become a senior student. Crazy people can work hard, Wei Wen said. The college entrance examination is only a month away, and after working hard for so many years, it's not good to drop out now. Luo Feng had a hint of heart, after all, watching as he grew up and became a warrior, galloping in the wilderness. But first of all, I have not yet met the standards of a quasi-warrior, and second of all, the attitude of my parents is also a problem. After all, my family's conditions are there, and my parents have always hoped that I can go to college. After becoming a warrior, I did hear a glimmer of news. Madman, aren't you always worried about your brother? The water of life. It is produced in the United States and can regenerate limbs. However, the price is very high, 30 billion yuan. Is there really such a thing? Luo Feng looked very excited. This is a concern for their family, and the news of Bai Qi gave him a glimmer of hope, although the price was indeed very expensive. It's true, but this thing is very popular. It has a price but no market, and every time it is released, it is quickly bought. Only by becoming a god of war can there be channels to easily buy it. Bai Qi told Luo Feng the news he knew. I will become a warrior as soon as possible. I will definitely. Luo Feng's body trembled slightly with excitement. Next, Bai Qi did not stimulate Luo Feng. After all, Luo Feng will eventually embark on the path of martial arts. 1 month later, in the college entrance examination, Luo Feng will take the first step towards becoming the Lord of Luo City. Unfortunately, he will have already gone to Hongning Bay City by then, and there is a little regret that he cannot see the awakening of Lord Luo. After eating and drinking enough, the three of them chatted for a while before each went home. New book seeking support and recommendations, end of this chapter. Chapter 4. Upload Technique. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Upload Technique. In the next few days, Bai Qi spent almost all of his time practicing selflessly in his villa. Talent cheating was one aspect, and without hard work, he would never achieve success. When I had time, I also met with Luo Feng and Wei Wen twice, gave them some guidance on cultivation issues, and taught them a body cultivation technique that I had summarized myself. From ordinary people to quasi-warriors, there is no systematic exercise method on earth, which is constantly summarized by White Qi using his golden finger. Since the last meal, both of them have put a lot of effort into their cultivation, but to see the effect, it's not just a day or two. Creating martial arts is difficult for others. Generally, it is only by practicing one's own knowledge to the peak, accumulating experience through continuous fighting, and constantly modifying it with occasional inspiration, that one can become a mature secret book. However, the White Qi is not needed because of the nature of Daoguo. When he wants to create a cultivation method, he can continuously strive towards the direction he wants based on his existing knowledge, and with strengthened understanding, accumulate and improve continuously to obtain a complete cultivation method. For example, the body refining technique taught to Luo Feng and Wei Wen, as well as the other 6 body techniques. The latter is known by its name, as it was created by him based on the naval 6 moves from the previous anime One Piece, and through his own cultivation and understanding of the power generation method. The content may be different, but the final effect achieved is also similar. Due to the lack of complete inheritance and short development time on Earth, only some incomplete inheritance has been obtained in ancient civilization relics, resulting in various skills being only used for attack. And in the universe, these can also be applied to defense and speed. The 4th layer of the end of the world that I deduced should not be worse than the original version, Bai Qi thought in his mind. Yes, as mentioned earlier, he only exchanged the 3rd level of annihilation from extreme home, but he has cultivated the 4th level, which is not a conflict. Surprisingly, he has cheats, although he can only play a small role now. Over the past 6 months, due to the solidification effect of Daoguo on himself, with the continuous accumulation of inspiration through the practice and use of the end of the world, White Qi has also gained many insights beyond the secret script. And a month ago, after successfully cultivating the third layer of the annihilation, that had been fully exchanged, he faced a situation where there were no martial arts to cultivate. On the Wuxia internal website Extreme Home, the first 4 layers of annihilation require 15 billion huaxia coins, with a half price of 7.5 billion huaxia coins, but require a 4-star contribution point. Leaving aside the contribution points of 4 stars, even at half price, Bai Kai can only smile bitterly. Being able to purchase the first 3 floors has already spent all his savings. This is still because of his genius performance, and the martial arts school has provided a lot of subsidies. In the past few days of cultivation, I have felt slow progress in deducing the 5th layer of the end of the world. It seems that I need to purchase some other secret scripts and accumulate different knowledge by analogy. After completing the 4th layer, Bai Qi continued to deduce the 5th layer. However, due to limited knowledge he had seen, the progress was a bit slow. Although I am still making progress, it may take some time for the deduction to succeed, so I can only think of other methods to accelerate it. Thinking of purchasing the secret script, I got up and walked towards the first floor to the room where the computer was placed. Open the computer, find the website of Extreme Home, and log into your warrior account. Opening the classification of secret scripts, upon entering the eye, there are a dazzling array of secret scripts, led by his own cultivation of annihilation, followed by 9-fold thunder knife, and their despairing prices. I can also upload my own creations and sell them for money just by thinking about buying secret scripts, Bai Kai, who was struggling with the price, thought. According to the above market trend, the 6 forms of body techniques he created each have their own strengths and should be welcomed by a large number of warriors. Especially the iron blocks and moon steps. Iron blocks are defense secrets that Earth does not have. Although limited by one's own knowledge, they can only enhance defense strength by about 4 times. Moon step is a divine skill that allows warriors below the star level to master flying skills, which is simply a life-saving skill. If you want to do it, do it. White Key quickly compiled his own created techniques into a book. Since it has already been uploaded to the communication terminal on a regular basis, it is very convenient to organize, mainly for the final inspection. It took me over an hour to finally finish it, and I was thinking about uploading it in the back end of the website. After thinking about it, I also sorted out my body training techniques and prepared to upload them together. As for the 4th layer of my own deduction, the end of the world, I decided to forget it. It took another half an hour to complete this task. Open the website backend and upload the 7 techniques to the website. You can't just wait, let's take a look at which secrets to buy first. I saw that it was already displayed in the review process, but I didn't wait. After all, this is not something that will receive feedback in the short term. Switch back to the page of the secret code, and White Key slowly selects the secret code he needs. Since you can't afford expensive ones, let's choose some cheaper ones. Seeing that you only have a balance of over 9 billion yuan, Bai Key also sighed. After careful selection, I ultimately chose to purchase the top 4 copies of 9 Thunder Knives at a cost of 250 million huaxia coins. This is also because of his 2-star contribution, combined with the other 7 relatively cheap secret books, which cost a total of 620 million huaxia coins. Looking at the account that had shrunk by more than half, Bai Qi's lips twitched as he spent the income he had earned from his hard work for half a month in just a few minutes. This money doesn't need to be spent. At the same time, in Hongning Base City, the global headquarters of Extreme Hull. The spaceship headquarters, which spans tens of thousands of meters, is located in an office on the 2nd floor. A staff member knocked on the door of the office. Come in. The sound came from inside, and the staff opened the door to report. Manager, just now a warrior from Jiangnan Base City uploaded 7 martial arts techniques. What? 7 departments. Which god of war is it? The manager was also surprised. After all, this is not the beginning of the website anymore, and warriors don't upload their martial arts as frequently, let alone 7 parts at once. It's not the god of war. I checked its registration information, and his name is White Key. He became a warrior 6 months ago. The current certified level is Junior General, and he has been recommended by Jiangnan Base City to join the elite training camp. The staff said truthfully. Oh, you're still a genius. The manager was even more surprised. Open the computer in front of me, look at the martial arts uploaded in the background, and randomly click on one, which is Moon Steps. After reading the opening description, the manager instantly stood up from the seat. Continuing to read the description of the 7 books of cultivation, the manager in charge of the extreme home became even more excited. If the description is true, then the value is high. You go down first, I'll report to the inspector now. The manager waved back his subordinates and tidied up before heading to the inspector's office, which was in charge of headquarters work. Inspector Wang, this is the specific situation. The manager who hurriedly arrived reported the incident to Inspector Wang, who is currently in charge of headquarters work. Genius. This is a good thing. Let's go see the head of the main hall with me. He should be interested. After listening to the report from his subordinates, I also browsed through 7 martial arts and made a decision when I saw Bai Qi practicing annihilation. General Manager. Alright, Inspector. The manager was instantly excited. Even though he worked at the headquarters, it was difficult to see Hong. New book seeking support and recommendations, end of this chapter. Chapter 5. Passing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Passing. Arriving at the top floor of the spacecraft headquarters, passing through a long corridor, Inspector Wang led the 2 of them to the door of a secret room. I want to see the head of the main hall, said the black-clad waiter next to him. I'll report it immediately. The black-clad attendant respectfully bowed to Inspector Wang and replied respectfully. The black-clad waiter turned around and entered the secret room, and after less than a minute, he walked out. The owner has already agreed to meet you, please come with me, the black-clad waiter said to the 2 of them after coming out. Entering the secret room, it is quite spacious, but the decoration is extremely simple, with only some cattails placed. In the middle of the secret room, there sat a young man wearing a black practice robe, standing 1.9 meters tall with a cut, as if he were in his 20s. But that temperament made no one ignore him. Like a spear about to pierce through the sky, the surrounding world seemed completely twisted, and the world seemed to be centered around him. He is Hong, the strongest person on Earth today, who has comprehended the legendary realm of light. The head of the museum, said Inspector Wang and his 2 companions, all bowing when they saw this person. What's up? Hong spoke up. The situation is like this, said the manager in charge of Extreme Home, reporting the whole story to Hong. Born as an orphan, did you become a martial artist 6 months ago? Young people nowadays are really amazing. Even Hong was slightly surprised. In half a year, not only did he make rapid progress in martial arts cultivation, but he also created 7 martial arts techniques, which Hong couldn't achieve. We received a recommendation from Jiangnan Base City and made a decision to send Yang Hui over for assessment. We will depart in the next 2 days, added Inspector Wang beside us. Sitting in the middle of the secret room, Hong had already browsed through the iron block in these 7 martial arts techniques. As a master-level figure who had made his way in the martial arts world, he instantly understood the essence of them. The strength of the muscles throughout the body constantly changed, and the first and second layers of iron block were successfully cultivated in an instant. I felt that the changes in my body were, indeed, exquisite. Hong generously praised it. Pick up the laptop again, continue to browse the above techniques, and try them one by one. Immediately communicate with him to understand his thoughts, Hong instructed the 2. Yes, the head of the museum, the 2 immediately agreed. Subsequently, the manager sent a call request to Bai Qi, who had just purchased the secret script and was preparing to practice for a while. Suddenly, he received the call request and without much thought, he answered it. Hello, Mr. White Qi, I am a staff member from Extreme Home. May I ask if you just uploaded the 7 skills? As soon as the call was answered, the voice from across the line came in. Yes, it was me who uploaded it, White Key replied. We have already approved the review on our end, and now we would like to confirm with you whether all of them have been put on sale. The voice of inquiry continued to come from over there. I am going to give the body training secret to the Extreme Martial Arts School for free, and pass it on to all martial arts school students. The other 6 books are sold normally. This is also what he has carefully considered. As an orphan, he has enjoyed the benefits of society, and it is time to give back to society. Moreover, the practice secrets have the greatest impact on people who do not have the ability to cultivate genetic abilities, but their economic strength is far inferior to that of martial artists. Upon hearing his words, Hong Sanren across from him was also taken aback for a moment, and immediately agreed in their hearts. Mr. Bai, on behalf of the Extreme Martial Arts School, I would like to express my gratitude for your selfless dedication. With your cultivation, we humans will give birth to more warriors, and our strength will become stronger. One day, we will drive out monsters and reclaim the lost land. Inspector Wang's voice came from his communication watch. I just did what I was supposed to do, which was insignificant compared to the heroes who sacrificed in the era of Nirvana. White Key sincerely said, this is what he said from the bottom of his heart. Whether it is now or in his past life, he has a genuine respect for those who have made contributions to humanity. Anyway, Mr. Bai, your merits are immeasurable, and people will remember your selfless dedication, said Inspector Wang. We will have professionals evaluate the prices of the other 6 secret books and notify you via text message, the manager added. After hanging up the phone, Hong next to him said, interesting young man. There are very few people with such a childlike heart, sighed Inspector Wang. Don't draw a commission on his secret script. When he arrives at the headquarters, let him choose any set of secret scripts and prepare a copy of Dragon Blood. Let Yang Hui pick him up tomorrow and let me see him too. Hong finally left an order. He didn't mention the issue of assessment, he just said to pick it up, because he felt in his heart that those who could create this kind of cultivation were guaranteed to pass the assessment. Yes, General Manager, Inspector Wang responded respectfully. White Key didn't know that Hong already knew about him, but he was also surprised. He didn't expect the efficiency of the staff at Extreme Home to be so fast that the review was completed in less than 2 hours of uploading. But he didn't think too much and continued to practice as usual. As for the secret script he just purchased, it will take some time to deliver it to his door. In a blink of an eye, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the doorbell of White Key's villa was ringing. The person who sent the secret script to Extreme Home arrived. Opening the door, several staff members walked into the villa carrying a large box and successfully handed over the secret code to White Key after passing a series of certifications. After sending the staff away, Bai Kai couldn't wait to take the box containing the secret script to the second-floor cultivation room. He opened the box and browsed through it one by one. He decided to start practicing from Jiu Chong Lei Dao. After all, it is the only ultimate secret script that should bring many different power techniques. It took me over an hour to browse through the purchased 4-layer, 9 thunder knives several times, and I picked up a training sword from the nearby weapon rack and started practicing. White Key, who has had multiple experiences in martial arts cultivation, found it quite easy to cultivate and quickly immersed himself in it, devoting himself to selfless cultivation. In the blink of an eye, it was 9 o'clock in the evening. After several hours of cultivation, the first layer of the 9 Thunder Blade had already been mastered, and now I am practicing the second layer. In the cultivation room on the second floor, several White Keys swung their swords forward in different postures. The swords were like thunder, and as they moved, the air in front of them seemed to be cut off. The next second later, a few remaining shadows gathered together, and that was the White Key that had already received the sword. The cultivation of the second level, 9-fold Thunder Blade, has been completed. In the second layer of 9-fold Thunder Blade, each attack can add 2 layers of dark energy, each with 0.7 times the original body's strength, which is equivalent to 2.8 times the original body's attack. The reason why I was able to train into the second layer so quickly is because some of the power generation methods in it are similar to annihilation. By mastering all these methods of exerting force, one should be able to further deduce a few layers of annihilation. Or create a technique that suits oneself, by Keixen thought to himself. This is not ambitious, it is a plan for his own cultivation. In the process of practicing annihilation, even if he has mastered all the moves and innovated, he always feels unsatisfied. This indicates that his physical will has not been fully invested in the display of martial arts skills. Perhaps after a lot of adjustment in the future, he can understand the artistic conception of the author's creation. However, it is obvious that this is not perfect, and no one can replicate it 100%. Although thinking about the future, the most important thing at present is eating. Feeling the protest from the stomach, I can only get up and go to the kitchen to find something to eat. New book seeking recommendations and support, end of this chapter. Chapter 6. Assessment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Assessment. While White Key was cooking and preparing to sleep, some martial artists who had browsed through the newly added techniques on Extreme Home were filled with excitement. This afternoon, the Extreme Home Secret Scripts section topped out with 7 martial arts techniques. Many warriors who log in know about it in a short amount of time, and most of them will subconsciously click in. Extreme Home is not only accessible to martial artists from Extreme Martial Arts School, but can be purchased at half price if the members of the martial arts school reach a certain level of contribution. Iron Block, a secret technique for body defense. Being able to enhance one's defensive ability through special force techniques. The first thing I see is an introduction to the technique, and below is the price. Iron Block is triple priced at 800 million Huaxia coins, full price, and 400 million Huaxia coins, half price, requiring a 2-star contribution point. The first 2 parts of Iron Block. Priced at 400 million Huaxia coins, full price, and 200 million Huaxia coins, half price, require a 2-star contribution point. The first episode of Iron Block, 0.200 million Huaxia coins, full price, and 100 million Huaxia coins, half price, requiring a 1-star contribution point. Moon Steps is a secret technique for aerial movement, which allows people to walk in the air through special power techniques, 10 billion Chinese currency, full price. 5 billion Chinese currency, half price. Requirement. 2-star contribution points. Shaving paper painting. After browsing through it all, besides the free exercise secrets, the other 6 books each have their own characteristics and meet the needs of people in all aspects. The level of popularity can be determined by the comments section and purchase volume. Due to the endorsement of the Extreme Home, there is no doubt about the authenticity of the cultivation method. Userly ***. Life-saving magic. Flying has always been the exclusive ability of legislators. As long as you learn it, besides flying monsters and king-level monsters, you will stand invincible against others. User Danny ***, the upstairs is really brave, even king-level monsters dare to provoke. User Park ***, the Iron Block technique is also good, increasing defense, a genius idea. User Murakami said, I still think that the flying skill of Moon Step is the most practical. User ***, I have chosen to take everything and have already placed an order for everything. Carat Omega Carat. A purchase screenshot has been attached at the back. Dog Tycoon. In an instant, the building tilted downwards, turning into a critique of the wealthy. As some purchased warriors join the comments section, this matter continues to ferment online. However, these have no effect on the sleeping White Key. Although he was prepared to some extent, when he woke up the next day, he looked at the series of account entry messages popping up on his communication watch with a bewildered expression on his face. Looking at the total balance again, 37250000 Chinese currency. Shocked, really shocked. You know, he struggled for half a year and only earned less than 5 billion Chinese currency. Is selling martial arts secrets profitable like this? I feel like I've opened up a new world. White Key had an impulse to switch careers and specialize in researching and developing secret scripts, just thinking about it. There will be a great change in the future that has never been seen before, and immortality is just a leisure time. Reversing time and space, and splitting the world are also achieved by a large number of strong people. How can we waste time on such things? Calm down, haha. Take a few deep breaths to calm down, but the smile on the corner of your mouth cannot be concealed. The money problem has been solved, and we need to work hard to cultivate now. After calming down, Baiyu made a decision. However, the plan couldn't keep up with the changes. Just as he was preparing to continue his cultivation, he received an unexpected call from Zhuge Tao, one of the 4 giants of the extreme martial arts school. White Key, where are you now? The headquarters envoy will arrive in a while, prepare yourself and come to the main hall for assessment. Zhuge Tao's gentle voice came over, and he was quite satisfied with White Key. As an angel investor, his investment project is about to go public, and he is also very happy that he is about to enter the elite training camp. This proves his vision and workability. Supervisor, why did I practice at home earlier? Baiyu was a bit puzzled. There were still a few days before the agreed time, and he wanted to improve himself. I also received a notice suddenly, and once I received it, I notified you. Zhuge Tao replied, okay, I'll pack up and come over on horseback. Baiyu agreed, and he roughly understood why. It should be related to his uploading of martial arts, after all, he is quite low-key. The only thing that can make a big shot in the headquarters make a change is this one. After hanging up the phone, Bai Kai tidied up and prepared to go out and take the train to the main urban area for assessment. At the same time, a phantom appeared over the main urban airport like a teleportation, then quickly slowed down and passed through the city's defense system, slowly descending towards the ground. This is a UFO-type passenger aircraft with a bluish color throughout, with a diameter of 30 to 40 meters, emitting a dangerous aura throughout. After the UFO aircraft gradually came to a stop, the cabin door slowly opened and a staircase extended from it. All 4 giants of the extreme martial arts school welcomed them, along with some other influential figures, totaling more than 10 people. Lao Yang, finally it's here. Zhou Yongzheng, the president of the Extreme Club, greeted him with a smile. This time I'm here to test White Key's ability, right? I'm an 18-year-old junior general and also a mid-level mental trainer, fully qualified to join the elite training camp. These are all small things. Let's go have a drink first. It's been 8 years since we last met. President Zhou Yongzheng continued as the two approached. White Key never intended to conceal the talent of the spiritual master. So he reported to the martial arts school from the beginning, otherwise he wouldn't have received so much help. It's been 8 years, let's have tea together. This task is very important. We can go eat after the assessment is completed. Zhuge, is your brother in the base city? Call him up then, Yang Hui replied with a smile. The inspector is not in the base city. He should have gone to City 003 to hone his marksmanship. Let's go see him when he comes back. The inspector's diligent training in marksmanship is also aimed at breaking through the god of war and becoming a transcendent existence. The museum owner has also said that he is the most promising one. Yang Hui sighed and said. Immediately, the headquarters envoy Yang Hui and the 4 giants of Jiangnan Base City left the airport together and took a special car to the Extreme Martial Arts Museum in Jiangnan Base City. As soon as they arrived at the martial arts school, Bai Kao stepped into the school with his hind legs. After some pleasantries, the few of them came to the machine that tested their strength. Let's start. Yang Hui gave the order and the test began. With a loud bang, White Key swung his fist towards the force gauge, and his fist instantly accelerated beyond the speed of sound. With a violent sound of tearing air, he hit the target multiple times in a row. 17056, 17087, 17,049 intermediate generals, unbelievable. There are only junior generals ahead, not bad. Have you made so much progress in the past few days? Chairman Zhou Yongjing said beside him. Next, we will test our mental abilities. Yang Hui was also amazed, but he felt it was only natural that someone who could be instructed by the head of the museum to take back and see someone could not be easily understood. Swish, swish. Several flying knives collided with the target with a piercing sound. Another string of numbers appears on the display screen. 37096, 37122, 37105. Next, we went through speed and neural response tests, with an average speed of 205 meters per second. The advanced warrior with excellent neural response speed delivered a perfect answer. Pack up and accompany me back to headquarters tomorrow, Yang Hui said. White Key nodded to indicate that he knew and had planned to go to the elite training camp from the beginning. He was already prepared, so he didn't have much to say. Yang Hui's meeting with several old friends will not be discussed for the time being. After Baiyu agrees, he returns to his home to pack his things. New book seeking recommendations and support, end of this chapter. Chapter 7. Global Headquarters. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Global Headquarters. The next morning, Bai Yao arrived at the airport with the president of the Extreme Martial Arts School and others. Finally, under their gaze, he and the god of war Yang Hui passed the security check and quickly left along the passage. When the giant UFO passenger plane stopped at the airport, the two of them walked along the gangway into the plane. Mr. Yang, your position is in the top-class cabin, said a flight attendant with a smile as she entered. The two nodded. The interior decoration of the cabin is very dreamy, and the first-class compartment is circular, so the positions are also arranged according to the prototype. There is also a 3-dimensional virtual projection in the central blank space. Find a seat and sit side by side with Yang Hui, the god of war. After waiting for others to take their seats, the passenger plane will take off. This is your first time taking a plane, isn't it? The cost of this trip will be reimbursed by the martial arts school. Next time, if you have to do it yourself, you will have to pay for it yourself. The current ticket price is quite expensive, but for you now, it should be a drop in the bucket. Yang Hui said to Bai Yao, who had a vague understanding of his background. How could anyone who could allow Hong Qin to meet him on his own be an ordinary person? Haha, that's it, don't tease me. Bai Kai felt a bit embarrassed. With a low engine roar, the passenger plane finally took off. After more than an hour, the plane finally landed at the airport in Hongning Bay City, and the global headquarters of the Extreme Martial Arts Museum arrived. The entire base is quite beautiful, all inspired by ancient Chinese architecture from various periods, with pavilions, towers, rockeries, and gardens visible everywhere. Yang Hui, the god of war, introduced beside him. During the Great Nirvana period, the museum owner led a group of followers to establish a base on this land, sheltering many refugees. Today, the construction is getting bigger and bigger. Because of the museum owner, our Hongning base city is the safest place in the world. Bai Kai also looked amazed. Among the world's 5 major powers and 23 base cities, Hong holds one of them. Coupled with the extreme martial arts schools scattered around the world, his power is undoubtedly the world's #1. Of course, being able to master these is due to its invincible strength. During the conversation, the car drove up to the building that looked like a spaceship, followed behind Yang Hui, and walked straight inside. As early as on his way here, he knew that Hong wanted to see him, and Bai Yu was also looking forward to meeting the first person on Earth now. I went straight to a quiet tea room on the top floor. Hong, with black hair and black robe, was already sitting on a chair, holding a teacup. When he saw the White Key entering, he greeted him to sit down. So young, with such strength and the creation of exquisite martial arts such as moon steps, I was truly surprised, so I took the liberty of asking Yang Hui to bring you to meet me. Hong lowered his teacup and said to Bai Yu. The museum owner praised me greatly. Compared to the legend of the museum owner, my little achievement is not yet on the stage, replied Bai Kai humbly. The main purpose of bringing you here this time is to meet you and reward you by publicly disclosing your body refining secrets for free. That's not necessary. As an orphan, I can grow up to study and practice martial arts, enjoy the benefits provided by society, and have the ability to give back is also reasonable, Bai Yu said sincerely to Hong. You don't have to decline, your current task is to quickly grow up, which is the greatest contribution to us humans. After sipping the tea in the teacup, Hong continued, we have made a decision. You can choose any martial arts technique you like, and the martial arts school will also give you an extra dragon blood to accelerate your physical fitness improvement. Isn't this too valuable? Dragon blood is worth 80 billion yuan, and even though it has become wealthy in recent days due to the income from secret scripts, it can barely buy one or two. Just keep it for you, that's what you deserve. Being able to create these exquisite martial arts shows your cultivation talent. It seems like you are also practicing annihilation. How have you been practicing? Hong Wei smiled and said. In front of Hong, Bai Yu did not hide anything and truthfully expressed his insights into the end of the world. Hearing him explore and create the fourth layer on his own surprised Hong. I didn't expect you to have such a talent in martial arts, Hong sighed. As Hong, who created the ultimate secret script of annihilation, he also knew the hardships involved. If you have this kind of talent, then having you train step by step in an elite training camp may not necessarily be suitable for you. With your power level, being a teacher is more than enough, but because the cultivation time is short and the physical fitness is a bit poor, but after using dragon blood, you should also be able to grow a bit. After slowing down, he continued, all right. You can go to the training camp and become a martial arts teacher. You can use all the equipment in the training camp and guide those students when you have free time. Of course, the key is to improve yourself. When your improvement falls into a bottleneck, I will arrange work for you. Hong made the decision. Thank you, the owner. This arrangement is really great. Bai Kai spoke with gratitude, not from a relative, just because he had contributed a martial arts skill, he took such care of him. Let him truly realize the broad-minded nature of this Earth's first person. He himself wanted to join the elite training camp because of the resources and ancient civilization equipment inside. Because of the income from selling secret scripts, resources can be purchased with money, mainly ancient civilization equipment, which cannot be purchased for any amount of money outside. Making you a teacher, although it has some convenience, you have also lost some rewards. You can purchase some cultivation materials yourself. I think you can also afford it with your current income. That's right, I have to thank the owner for the income. It's not difficult to guess, as you can see by comparing the price of the secret script you uploaded, the martial arts school did not charge you any commission. So White Key once again expressed gratitude. Let Yang Hui take you to the training camp, someone will connect with you about those things later. After a conversation, Bai Kai left the tea room. We found Yang Hui waiting outside and rushed to the training camp together by car. As soon as I entered the training camp gate, what caught my eye was a large dragon-shaped sculpture, about 50 meters high, which was a giant black dragon. As long as it faces its huge eyes, it can feel endless darkness oppressing and suffocating. Each scale of the dragon is a small display screen that displays the names and rankings of some students. Number 1. Renatus Bridge, 530,321. Number 2. Chu Chang, 540,601. Your name would have appeared on it, but in the end, it turned into a teacher. The training camp is going to be lively, and these are all thorns. It's not easy to crush them, Yang Hui said beside him. Then let's wait and see. White Key didn't say much, only strength can convince people. No matter how much he just said, it would be nonsense. I'll take you to your place of residence first, put down your things, and then take you around. Yang Hui took him to a villa area deep in the training camp. Along the way, some people cast curious glances, but no one came up to greet them. This is an elegant two-story villa, continuing the consistent Chinese style. Even the interior decoration is antique, without a sofa or TV. Fortunately, it is equipped with a laptop. This is your place of residence. I am quite satisfied with this environment. After a brief rest, Yang Hui continued to stroll around the training camp with him. New book seeking recommendations and support, end of this chapter. Chapter 8. Training Camp. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Training Camp. Following Yang Hui's footsteps in the training camp, which is said to be a training camp, it is actually an ancient palace complex, beautifully arranged everywhere, with various exotic flowers and plants embedded in it, small bridges and flowing water, and pavilions and towers decorated step by step. In addition to the main palaces, there are also elegant pavilions with occasional visits from young people dressed in martial arts uniforms, including men and women of all races. It is not difficult to see that these young people are the trainees of the training camp. Look, this is the Zhuchong Tower. Yang Hui pointed to a giant 9-story tower and said to Bai Qi. This Zhuchong building is a place for students to learn and train, and some special training rooms are located there. The speaking room has arrived at the door of the building, entered directly into the elevator, and took the elevator to the 9th floor. Quickly, the elevator arrived at the 9th floor. With a ding sound, the elevator door opened and the two of them walked out of the elevator. The 9th floor is an empty hall with some cushions inside. Many young men and women are sitting and chatting because they come from different places, so there are various languages available. When they come in, many people look at them. Chinese people. Perhaps they have come to take the test. It seems that there will be another person in Huaxia. Some students whispered to themselves, ignoring them. Yang Hui arrived at the bottom of the hall with a white key. There was a passage, and on both sides of the passage were rooms. They walked to the innermost room. There was not much space in the room, only 2 sofas. With a loud bang, Yang Hui turned on the lights and saw a dark blue helmet placed on each sofa. This helmet was created with a lot of effort by our human scientists, imitating ancient civilization relics and the virtual space device consciousness sensor discovered inside. Yang Hui pointed to the helmet and introduced it to him. Of course, now we can only imitate consciousness sensors, and the host is still excavated from ancient civilization relics. Only by using it can we access virtual space. Finally, I have come into contact with this kind of thing. As a person of 2 generations, Bai Kai is also the first to come into contact with this kind of thing, which is only found in science fiction novels. After wearing it, consciousness will enter a virtual space with 100% simulation, just like the real world, said Yang Hui. As soon as he lay on the sofa and put on his helmet, White Key's consciousness descended into a silver-white world, and the next second Yang Hui also appeared beside him. This is the trial tower space, where students can take assessments. If you are interested, you can also explore it, Yang Hui introduced. In the virtual space, everyone's physical fitness is at the same level as a junior general. The two of them arrived at the entrance of the trial tower, and on the left side of the entrance, a sculpture appeared on the black pillar. Name. Bai Qi, gender. Male, identity. Training camp teacher, trial tower level. 1, turning to look at Yang Hui. Name. Yang Hui, gender. Male, identity. God of War, trial tower level. 3.2, the trial tower is divided into 7 levels, and no one in the world has reached the 7th level yet. The owner Hong has only reached the 6th level. Looking up at the trial tower, Bai Qi took a step forward and began to choose battle suits and weapons. He came here to try it out on his own. With the transformation of space, White Key arrived at a vast grassland. A.level test, please kill 50 Mang bulls within 30 minutes, all of which are junior beast generals. Good luck. As the sound fell, 50 wild cows surged out of the grassland, causing the earth to tremble. If hit head-on, they could be trampled on and turned into flesh and mud in an instant. It seems we can't make mistakes, as long as we make one mistake, we will die, Bai Kai thought, but there was no hint of worry on his face. I saw him pick up his alloy gun and face it head-on. As soon as he touched it, the leader, Mang Nyozi, was pierced by a shot. With the withdrawal of the gun head, bright red blood spurted out like a stream of water, and the Mang Nyozi instantly fell to the ground without lifting up. However, the fall of a wild cow did not affect their progress. They trampled on the bodies of their companions and continued to charge towards White Key. A flash of gunshots flashed by, and several wild cows fell down. Their body movements were like butterflies passing through flowers, flickering and moving among the cows. After just over 2 minutes, all 50 wild cows fell. White Key stood on a corpse of a wild cow, and the herd of wild cows did not even touch his body. His clothes remained so neat. In 2 minutes and 27 seconds, kill 50 elementary level beast generals and pass the A.level test. The electronic rang out in time. Next is the B.level trial. Please kill 100 elementary level beast generals, Mangmu, within 30 minutes. Wishing you good luck. After a pause, the electronic sound continued to sound. The first 3 trial towers did not pose any obstacles for White Key until he reached the B.level trial on the 4th level, where he collapsed and died at the monster's mouth. At the entrance of the trial tower, the space changed for a moment, and the figure of Bai Key appeared at the door. Yang Hui immediately asked, "How many floors have you passed?" "4 levels, B.level. The White Key answered truthfully. Yang Hui looked bewildered, finally understanding why he came directly to become a teacher. With such a high level of strength at his age, he seemed to have seen a powerful figure rise. The training camp has an additional teacher who was discovered by most people in just a few days. However, there were not many people who came into contact with him, because most of the time, White Key stays in seclusion and practices at home. He only goes out when special equipment is needed, and he goes straight to the topic without wasting time. With the intelligence capabilities of various forces, the information of White Key was collected in a short period of time, causing a considerable sensation. It can be foreseen that as long as he does not fall, he will be at the lowest level an invincible god of war, which is already the strongest on earth except for dozens of legislators. So various overt and covert attempts to win over came one after another. Of course, they were all politely rejected by Bai Kai. Just kidding, he didn't have time to play this kind of power game with them. Enhancing his strength is now his focus. In the training camp, all the senior executives are aware of Hong's optimistic attitude towards White Key, so they try their best to open the door for him and give warnings to those who want to use some means. Seeing the attitude of the training camp, the people of these forces also restrained a bit, and over time, it didn't end. This also gradually restored peace to Bai Key's life, allowing him to focus on cultivation. Immersed in the enriching cultivation, I don't remember the passage of time. Half a year has passed in the blink of an eye, and the training camp has been closed. Many students have already returned home for the Chinese New Year, with only a small number remaining in the training camp. White Key is one of them. During these months of immersive cultivation, he has mastered a large number of martial arts secrets, including the complete set of Annihilation and Ninefold Thunder Blade. One book was chosen by Hong, and the other book was a complete set of secret scripts that he purchased at his own expense. Recently, while continuing to practice various secret scripts, he has gradually realized that these scripts have a lot in common. The newly learned ones rarely bring new knowledge. The group of people who can create secret scripts are mostly in the same circle, and there must be mutual interaction and flow during creation. So his focus shifted from learning new secrets to summarizing the gains during this period. New book seeking recommendations and collections, end of this chapter. Chapter 9. Introducing the old and bringing out the new. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Introducing the old and bringing out the new. It seems that I underestimated Daoguo's ability. Bai Yu sat on the balcony on the second floor and sighed to himself. It has been over a year since awakening my memory unconsciously. Although he made rapid progress in the first half of the year, he was still within the range that ordinary people could understand. However, as he gradually gained more exposure to various martial arts and techniques, he realized how abnormal he was after being transformed by Daoguo. I originally thought that transforming myself into a Taoist body, enhancing my understanding, and keeping myself at the pinnacle of my life would preserve every bit of progress in my understanding and prevent me from regressing my realm. It's already quite abnormal. However, with the accumulation of knowledge, he found that his progress was accelerating, and after some thinking, he also understood the truth behind it. Breaking through from 0 to 1 is the most difficult thing, it is a process from scratch. In comparison, it is much easier to change from 1 to 10 and then to 100. So his previous study of The End of the World was a breakthrough from 0 to 1, while his subsequent rapid progress was an accumulation from 1 to 100. Now, some basic secrets on Extreme Home cannot be understood instantly, but with just a little practice, one can fully grasp their essence. Continuing to accumulate the number of secret scripts one has mastered is a long-term task in the future, as different knowledge within them is the foundation for one's own progress. But now the main task of White Key is to integrate these scattered knowledge into one's own consciousness and create a secret book that suits oneself. In fact, when White Key cultivated his marksmanship and body techniques to the level of artistic conception, he realized that even if he fully understood the creator's thoughts and ideas, he could not reach the height of the original author. Because human body and mind are inherently different, only by incorporating the secrets developed by one's own will based on one's own situation can one fully fit oneself. But at that time, he didn't have enough knowledge. Now, as he accumulates more and more knowledge, his idea of creating secret scripts has become achievable. A secret script contains many things, not only attack techniques, but also guidance techniques for cultivating genetic energy, body techniques, and so on. After practicing so many secret techniques, Bai Qi discovered that the most suitable one for him was the stick technique. At the beginning, he practiced annihilation, because it was the only ultimate secret on earth, and compared to swords, he preferred to use long weapons, so he chose it. The stick, known as the leader of 100 soldiers, was already used by humans in primitive society. Later firearms, halberds, thatched spears, and other weapons evolved from it because ordinary people needed to add sharp parts to increase their killing power. However, when a warrior reaches a certain level, most of them master dark and penetrating power, and after reaching planetary level, they can also attach energy attacks, so it is not necessary to add these additional things. When you choose your favorite weapon and have a goal, other aspects can be developed around this core. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, more than a month has passed. The elite training camp has returned to its usual liveliness. Several students are queuing up to make appointments to use the gravity room outside the Jiuchong building. Is anyone using it inside now? A newly arrived student asked the previous student. Yes, it seems to be the white teacher, he said, looking at the staff next to him. Inside is Teacher Bai, who has been using it for over a month now, the staff replied. It seems that Teacher Bai hasn't taught anything since he arrived at our training camp, has he? Although it is a question, it also expresses the dissatisfaction in the hearts of these students. White Key has been staying in the training camp for most of the past 6 months, living in seclusion and focusing solely on his own cultivation. He has not fulfilled his responsibilities as a teacher and often occupies the facilities for cultivation, which has long caused dissatisfaction among these elite training camp students. In the gravity chamber, White Key sat in the middle and slowly opened his eyes. Infinite mysteries flowed in his eyes, shining brightly. If someone sees his eyes now, they will find that it seems to contain the universe and stars, vast and profound. For most of the 6 months in this elite training camp, he immersed himself in cultivation every day and didn't waste a single moment of time. In addition to contemplating one's own martial arts and developing secret scripts, it is also about refining one's own body, combined with the use of natural resources such as dragon blood, and various ancient civilization equipment in the elite training camp, which greatly improves one's physical fitness and reaches the limit of the god of war. Although he has decided to pursue a martial arts path mainly focused on cultivating stick techniques in the future, it does not mean that he has given up on spiritual cultivation. It has also reached the strength of a higher level god of war, but it has not yet reached its limit. After all, the heavenly materials and earthly treasures that can enhance spiritual cultivation have not improved his physical fitness as much. There is another way to protect the path, and on the way to the pinnacle of the universe, one must walk more smoothly. Walking in the martial arts world, having more skills does not burden oneself. Although separated by thick walls, the ultimate physical fitness of the advanced god of war allowed him to hear the voices of discussion outside. After listening to the sound for a while, he smiled but was not angry. Enjoying without doing anything will definitely lead to jealousy. We'll have to show off now, otherwise we'll be kicked out soon. Bai Yao chuckled to himself. Of course, this is a joke. Hong arranged his arrangement, not to mention that these students were dissatisfied. Even the senior management of the elite training camp could only hold back their dissatisfaction. Now he has reached the first bottleneck of cultivation, although this bottleneck is not a big deal to him. After accumulating for a period of time, it may be a natural breakthrough. In addition to daily cultivation, it is important to spend time continuously improving one's mental abilities to the limit. Of course, one should not always be left to be pointed out wherever one goes. This period of cultivation has come to an end. By combining work and rest and guiding these students, it may also trigger some inspiration for oneself. I stood up and felt, the impact of this gravity chamber on me is minimal, so I will occupy it less in the future. You should know that this is 1,000 times the gravity, which is the limit that this device can reach. Even if a low-level war god comes in, he will be crushed instantly, and if a mid-level war god comes in, his bones will be crushed. Even if a high-level war god comes in, he will move slowly and can only move his body slowly. But White Key was able to move freely inside, holding a huge alloy stick to practice, and the difference between them was clear at a glance. He picked up the silver alloy stick beside him and walked out of the gravity chamber. As soon as the door opened from the inside, it attracted the eyes of several people outside. Looking at the White Key, the person who had just spoken roast felt guilty. I've used the gravity chamber well, thank you very much for this time. Bai Yu first smiled and said to the staff guarding here, then turned to the others and said, please convey to everyone that starting from tomorrow, when I have time in the afternoon, I will guide the masters to practice martial arts in the first floor cultivation hall. When he said this, he was not at all guilty, and his current mastery of various secret scripts is not much worse than the author's. Even if he hasn't mastered them yet, he can still give some guidance. After receiving their answers, they smiled and gestured to the staff before walking out. Advice. Our white teacher is really confident. Seeing him go out, a student roast. People who can become members of elite training camps are all geniuses from various places, asking themselves how they can recognize someone younger than themselves to guide them. Alright, we're only responsible for notifying, and it's not us who will make a fool of ourselves. The companion next to us didn't pay much attention, and even felt a little amused. New book seeking recommendations and collections, end of this chapter. Chapter 10. Promoting Fame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Promoting Fame. On the top floor of Jiucheng Tower, after Bai Kai left the gravity chamber, he did not immediately go back, but came here. It is still the silver-white land, and the 7-story trial tower still stands tall, emitting an ancient atmosphere. Although it is in the virtual space, when calculated, its existence time is not short. The host of this virtual space was excavated from ancient civilization ruins, and humans on Earth cannot replicate it yet. Walking to the door, his information appeared on the black stone pillar. Name. White key, gender. Male, identity. Training camp teacher, trial tower level. 4.2, to be honest, this level is not low in the elite training camp, but not many people know it. Only the Aries Yang Hui and some senior executives who came to take part in the assessment with him know it. After all, as a teacher, he did not participate in the rankings on the bright side, and he became addicted to cultivation in the elite training camp, so those students roast about it. Has the strongest Hong only passed the 6th floor? I'll take this first. After standing here, some suppressed ambitions kept emerging. This hard work of cultivation is not for the purpose of constantly pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. If you play for a long time, you will become a real pig. An hour and a half later, inside a secret room on the top floor of the Extreme Martial Arts Academy spacecraft headquarters. Hong was attracted by the vibration of the communication watch on his wrist, frowned slightly, and clicked on the message content. It was automatically sent by the smart device of the training camp. Let me see, White Key actually got through the trial tower. Even Hong was surprised by this news. When he met White Key last year, he was just a promising junior, giving some rewards to cultivate. Unexpectedly, less than a year had passed, this junior surpassed him in terms of strength. The younger generation is terrifying. Hong let out a sigh and then informed his friend Thor of the news. For him, only the Thunder God, who stands at the top of the earth like him, can be considered a good friend. Others either respect him or are subservient to him, and cannot have equal companionship. White Key knew nothing about what was happening here. After completing the entire trial tower, he was teleported to the door and saw his trial tower level increase to 8. Finally, it's much more pleasing to the eye, he nodded, quite satisfied. His power level is definitely not limited to this point, otherwise he wouldn't have gone through 3 levels of test towers in just over an hour. This is still the result of him not rushing to pass the levels and slowly honing his martial arts skills. In the evening, the afterglow of the sunset illuminated the ancient architecture of the elite training camp, shining brilliantly. Baiyu was summarizing his cultivation achievements during this period and compiling the secrets he had created into a book. He named his own cultivation technique Hunyuan Staff, which included the accompanying guiding technique Hunyuan and body technique Ethereal. Unlike the fast-paced and agile style of Jiucheng Thunderblade, Hunyuan Stick mainly focuses on heavy and violent attacks, emphasizing the use of force to suppress others. Those who hit will die, and those who hit will be injured. Currently, it has been deduced by White Key to the 13th level, which can increase its own defense and attack by 13 times, almost twice that of Jiucheng Thunderblade. This is the result of White Key's efforts during this period. Not only that, but also after uploading techniques such as Iron Block from Extreme Home, Bai Kai deduced the following parts and uploaded them. After all, he also needs to eat. It has been more than half a year since he uploaded these 6 martial arts techniques, and his income has slowed down. He was able to make such great progress during this period, not out of thin air. The various natural resources and treasures he consumed, as well as the customized weapons and cultivation suits, if he didn't have new income, he would have to endure it sooner or later. I looked at my balance on the computer and found that there were only over 20 billion Huaxia coins, which was newly added during this period, or even less. I may be the poorest invincible god of war on earth, right? Yes, the invincible god of war, and even those members of the planetary first rank may not be his opponents. With 13 times the effort and his performance of Moonlight Steps, he will not have any shortcomings when facing members. What is that? A UFO. It's an intelligent fighter jet, and not a typical intelligent fighter jet. Outside came a clamor, yes. White Key, who was organizing the secret script, furrowed his brows slightly and walked towards the balcony in the hall. Standing on the balcony of my second floor, about 50 meters above my small building, a large UFO-type intelligent fighter plane stopped on it, and then Hong's voice came to my ears. "It's me, White Key, come up for a moment." At this moment, the cabin door of the aerial fighter opened instantly. Without hesitation, Moonlight Steps took a step into the air and arrived at the cabin door in an instant. The onlookers below witnessed everything and were amazed. "That's Teacher Bai, when did he become a transcendent god of war?" a student exclaimed in surprise. "No, it should be Moon Steps, but Teacher Bai is very clever in his performance. This is a training camp teacher with good eyesight, who saw the unnatural fluctuations in the air under Bai Qi's feet when he stepped into the air. Moon Steps has been uploaded for almost half a year now, and there are still many people who have mastered it. There are also a large number of videos online, but when those people perform it, the air under their feet seems to explode, and even the sound of air bursting is not aesthetically pleasing. The Moon Steps, performed by Bai Qi, did not hear any sound from the people around, and the movements were casual and natural, without any discordance, which was why the initial students thought it was flying. I heard that tomorrow afternoon, Teacher Bai will guide us in practicing martial arts, and many students are waiting to see a joke. After Bai Qi walked into the intelligent fighter jet, the cabin door slowly closed and accelerated towards the horizon, disappearing in the blink of an eye. I definitely want to go and see it tomorrow. With this skillful and effortless performance of Moon Steps, Teacher Bai is fully qualified to teach us, said a Chinese student. The White Key who entered the cabin door immediately saw Hong, dressed in black and with black hair, and beside him was a bald man in white. "White Key, let me introduce you to the Thunder God, the creator of the Thunder Martial Arts School." Hong pointed to the Thunder God on the side and introduced him to White Key. "When we first met, you gave me a big surprise, Bai Qi." Before Bai Qi could speak, the Thunder God next to him spoke up first. "I also have a long admiration for the Thunder God. This is not polite. The person with the highest level of martial arts on earth is even higher than Hong, indicating his high talent. If it weren't for Hong's abnormal understanding of the field, he would be the number one in the world." After some hustle and bustle, the Thunder God couldn't help but propose the idea of a competition, and White Key naturally couldn't help but beg for it. He now lacks experience in fighting against experts. Although martial arts have been created, they have not yet been used in practical combat. Now, the world's first and second are in front of us, and of course, we need to seek some advice. The cabin door opened and stepped out from inside. Looking at the surrounding environment, it was a wilderness area, and then looking at the long alloy stick in their hands, these two seemed to have planned ahead. Today, the monsters in this wilderness area are really unlucky. All of this is because of the two people in the air. The sound of the golden iron echoing in the open air can be heard far away, but no inconspicuous monster runs over. The momentum on the two of them is unabashedly pouring towards the surroundings, and some beast soldier level monsters are scared to pee and limp in place. In the sky, the thunderous sword energy crisscrossed the four fields, and the long staff crossed the air, blocking all the sword energy and unleashing a powerful and heavy blow. Dang! With a loud explosion, the Thunder God flew backwards, and White Key was also shaken upside down by the anti-seismic force. The terrifying shockwave spread around, and some small trees were blown upside down. New book seeking collection and recommendation, end of this chapter.